I do remember that at some point during our conversation, you just like very casually told me that you have cancer. And you just came from the US and you had like a bunch of, treatments that you went through there.
Yes.
And then you're back and you're like, have a lot of things that you're getting involved to, going back to work.
Yes.
And I was really mesmerized with how energetic you were and how casual you were about telling me like something that's so, that's so heavy.
Yes.
Like, I just wonder at that moment, like, wow, how do you do it?
Well, with a lot of faith, with a lot of, I'm always inspired by something. And just because I've been through so much, it doesn't stop me from living life. In fact, it makes me live life even more.
Hello, amigas. Almost everyone knows someone or knows someone who knows someone facing the big C, cancer. It's a word that can feel heavy, but behind it are also stories of courage, resilience, and hope. Today's podcast is not about fear or the disease itself. It's about the strength to keep going, to keep living, and to find meaning even in life's hardest moments. Because sometimes bravery is simply choosing to show up for life, no matter the circumstances. I personally know not just one, but many people walking this journey. And I often ask myself, what drives them to keep living fully despite the unknowns of tomorrow, despite the challenges they carry quietly every single day? Our amiga today is someone who answered that question for me through the way she lives. She inspires me to be present, to be intentional, and to embrace life fully. A woman, a mom, a friend, the life of the party, a survivor, and a true role model. Maybe not yet cancer-free, guys, but absolutely full of life, strength, and an inspiration to everyone that she touches their lives. Please join me in warmly welcome my dear amiga, Ana Amigo. Ana, welcome to Amiga's podcast.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction, inspiring and just so full of hope.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you,
so glad.
Pri.
You know
Thank
what,
you.
Anna, when I met you maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
Yes.
I can't really recall the exact date, but I do remember that we're like kind of freshly coming back from the pandemic.
Yes.
And you were so like alive. And I love your personality. Aside from you, very pretty, super beautiful.
I'm getting prettier because you're beside me.
Thank you. But I do remember that at some point during our conversation, you just like very casually told me that you have cancer. And you just came from the US and you had like a bunch of, treatments that you went through there.
Yes.
And then you're back and you're like, have a lot of things that you're getting involved to, going back to work.
Yes.
And I was really mesmerized with how energetic you were and how casual you were about telling me like something that's so, that's so heavy.
Yes.
Like, I just wonder at that moment, like, wow, how do you do it?
Well, with a lot of faith, with a lot of, I'm always inspired by something. And just because I've been through so much, it doesn't stop me from living life. In fact, it makes me live life even more. Like, I appreciate even the little things in life. So I think because of that, and I know, this sounds depressing, but it's not. I feel like because I know our days are numbered, I know how to take care of it. Because I've been through it, I know when, gosh, okay, is it today? Is it tomorrow? Will I be here? Will I be staying? So it just emphasized to me how important it is to really stay in the moment, to enjoy the moment, to just live fully. And like with me, I have two big reasons, and you know them.
Yeah.
I have two big reasons to stay alive and live fully, and that's rain and sight.
Yeah, those are the two super good looking kids of Anna. And just to give like a background of who Anna actually is a PR manager for a lot of very well-known brands in the country. And she's always the one who organizes the best events and parties. That's why I was like, every time I see you in an event, and sometimes I hear from you like, Pri, I just came from this treatment, or Pri, tomorrow I have this other treatment, I need to travel, I'm going to the US. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you don't look sick at all. You look like you're just like 100% full of health.
Yeah. But you have to fool yourself, and you have to fool the disease. You have to tell them, well, I'm bigger than this disease.
But was it always like that? How did you feel? How were you emotionally when you first heard and learned about your condition?
When I first was diagnosed, it took a while because it's a rare disease. When my doctor finally figured out what I had, my children Rain was young. She was maybe 2, and Sai was maybe just maybe 8 months, maybe not even. I think he was just born. So I could hear them while the doctor was talking about me and what's happening to me and all these things. And the only thing I remember thinking is like, can you just tell me? Like, I always want people to just tell me the truth. Like, give me a time frame so that I can adjust to things. So of course they were telling me, we can help you manage this disease. And thank God it's been managed, or it's being managed rather, although I've had some things happen because of it. Do
you mind to share how long it have been going?
I was diagnosed with a blood cancer called polycythemia 22 years ago.
Oh my God.
And then I lived with it for about 10 years until I lost my liver because I had a really rare blood clot in my hepatic vein, and that caused my liver to fully fail. And I was actually on vacation in the States with the kids when this happened. And so I stayed in the hospital for 7 months. It was the best and the worst of times.
Wow.
I saw how great humanity is, even though I was going through so much pain and uncertainties. There was a lot of uncertainties because, I was very, very sick. They didn't know if I would make it or not.
Oh, wow. And your kids are like, what, 2 and...
they were older now. Rain at that time was maybe 11 and Sai was 9.
Still.
But they had seen me kind of, throughout the years, like in and out of the hospital. So it was kind of normal, obviously, because their mom was sick, and so they'd have to accompany me to the hospital, but never to that point where, you
don't know if you can make it tomorrow.
If I have tomorrow
That's
or not.
heartbreaking, Anna. Like, how are you emotionally? Like, in that point when you find out, have your 2 kids, I'm assuming someone else was with you at that moment?
My sister was there, my mom, thank God.
How were you emotionally? Like, how did you make through that? Like, what was going through your mind?
It was really hard, obviously. I was in and out of the ICU. But I've always been a positive person, and I gravitate towards positivity. So I'm always thinking, like, even the doctors, the nurses, I became friends with them. So I always felt like there was this community around me, which really, really helped me. And people were praying for me. I'm so thankful for that. My faith grew even more.
Wow, amazing.
I know sometimes people are like, but I really think I saw Jesus and his angels.
Was that like the turning point where you said, okay, I'm going to fight this? Or is there like another moment in your life?
So there was a turning point. The first month that I was in hospital, I was struggling with like control. Like I've always been a person, as you know, like busy doing things, always making sure everything's okay. So the first month was a struggle for me because, when you don't know what's happening, right? That's what I fear, is the unknown.
Okay.
Then I realized, what? These are doctors. They are experts at their fields. I've got good nurses here. So I think I'm just going to let everybody be and let them do whatever they need to. And then, of course, I lifted up how I felt to the Lord. and tell him, you, Jesus, you just take the wheel. There was a time where I actually said that, like, Jesus, just take the wheel.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
so that was a big turning point. Thank you for asking that, because when you asked me, I was like, what was that turning point? And yes, that was
that was the turning point.
So, and it made it easy
for you to process everything.
For everything to just, I would just say, I was a yes sir, yes ma'am by that moment already. I was just like, okay, you want to do this test? Okay, you want to do this surgery? Okay. Everything was just yes. Like, I just left it up to them, and I would pray that God would, hold their hands or give them like the right decisions as doctors, to give me the right, the right medicines or the right procedures to get me through it.
So clearly, like, the religion was part of it, your faith.
Yes.
But what is your mindset at that moment? If you can enumerate, like, how are you thinking? Like, okay, I'm gonna hold into what exactly? You mentioned your kids, you mentioned Jesus.
My kids were really a big thing because they were still young, and I knew I had to fight for it. And then, with everyone kind of pulling for me and cheering for me, I didn't want anyone to feel down, like, she gave up. So I didn't want to give up. I wanted to, like, I knew people were cheering me on and praying for me, and I wasn't just gonna say, and give up. So I just kept going, and I would keep myself busy by, like, watching TV or watching, like, sports, or nurses would come visit me. Obviously, my parents were always there. My family was always there. Friends would come in. Friends would visit me from the Philippines over there, because this was happening in North Carolina.
How long would happen? Like,
I was in the hospital for about 7 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
It was a very long time. In fact, when I left, it was Christmas time. And I cried so hard because I had been so dependent on the nurses already. Like, I was afraid, like, I wonder if my family can take care of me the way the nurses would take care of me, because I really got such great care from them. Even the hospital staff, like the janitors, they would come and say hello to me every morning, and they would say, we know you're going to get out of here. And I would ask, how do you know that I'm going to get out of here?
Yeah, that's actually, I want to ask you, like, what make you to, what make you stop the fear of, about the what ifs? Is there something that like help you to not fall into fear?
I think I really just accepted.
Okay.
And of course, I'm not gonna pretend that there were times where I'm just like, I give up. There were times that I just said, this is so painful. Like, I give up. Let me go na lang. I've already fought. But my sister and my mom would always be like, stop, don't say that, don't think that, you be you. And then I would be like, oh my God, okay, just give me a moment to cry about this. Because they wouldn't really, like, allow me to cry about it and make me feel sorry. Like, they were just so, you've got this, Anna, you can do it. And I'm so thankful that they were really there for me to,
People, they cope in different ways. Did you meditate, or did you become more like a relationship with Jesus? Like, early you mentioned that, you mentioned Jesus, and then it strengthened your faith. But aside from that, is there something else that you actually did spiritually that it helped in the journey?
I think when I said that I saw Jesus and his angels, I also saw something that wasn't Jesus.
Okay.
At the same time, like, I was lying in my ICU room, and Jesus was beside me, and I was surrounded by the angels. I don't know if it was because I had so much drugs. I'm not really, like, I was in the ICU. So, but this was so clear to me that I feel like it really happened.
Okay.
But I could see in between the angels by the window, I could also see these dark figures just kind of lurking. So I thought, gosh, here I am with Jesus and his angels, but there's also something dark that I see.
Did that make you question your faith at any moment?
Oh, well, I think it made me even stronger. Knowing that Jesus was holding my hand. So, like, I really felt like, okay, I'm gonna get through this.
Wow.
I'm gonna get through this. And just that moment, whether it really happened or not, really made such a impact on how how the rest of the stay in the hospital was for me.
Yeah.
And even the doctors, there was one doctor that would say, Anna, whatever it is that you guys are doing, we see that you're different from the other patients here. Wow. They saw, like, we would have a table full of food for nurses and whoever would come and visit. And in the States, they're not really used to.
They're not really
right?
like yeah.
So at first, the nurses would be like, "Oh, that looks really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, we prepared that for you." My sister would,
Yes.
make sure there was always something
so
for
nice.
everybody there. So, and then they would see that people would come and visit and people would pray over me. So the doctors were like, "This is no longer us. This is no longer medicine. This is something bigger."
Bigger than
Yeah.
medicine.
So like for me, that was also another turning point. Like when a doctor told me that, a doctor of science, and he, one of the best in his field. And for me to hear that, that was just like an exclamation mark to what we were doing, to what people were saying. There were people who would send me prayer books that I didn't even know who they were. They were just touched by the story, wherever you are, thank you. But like those things to
Amazing.
me, that's what really made me focus on, staying
So
alive.
spiritually, you obviously you have all this support, you have your core beliefs that are being strengthened by the things you're experiencing, like seeing Jesus, regardless of dark figures, but it make you stronger.
It
What
made me
about your body? Because we know that cancer, it's a very debilitating disease.
Yes.
Right? Like,
How do I?
How were you? Like, how was Anna's body? Because I'm used, guys, to see Anna dancing at parties, okay? And she starts the dancing.
Yeah.
So at that moment, did you lose yourself?
I started to feel really bad because, my body was I was just really skin and bones. And I had
Wow.
a really, really big stomach because of the
medication,
fluids.
the fluids.
Yeah. Of course, it's, like you said, I'm always like up and about,
Moving.
right? Moving, dancing, whatever. When you have to lie down for months and you see your body deteriorating, you have to be bigger than that. Like you have to say there's a tomorrow. You actually have to really talk to yourself. There was a tree beside my hospital room and I saw it go from full of leaves to no leaves. It went from
Yes.
summer to falling leaves and then losing. So I looked at that and I would think, well, you know what? There's a spring. After this, the leaves are going to also come back.
Yes.
So I always, like those things, those are the things that I
Cycle
would
of
tell
life,
myself.
right?
Like, yes, like it's just reborn. There's something that's going to happen, something good that's going to happen from this.
For me, I really believe that's not the strength of the body. I think it's really the strength of the spirit that makes the difference.
Yes.
In so many aspects of life and give us hope to really keep going.
Yep.
Because I myself seen many times that I felt well, like today I have asthma, but I'm here, guys, just pushing through it because in the end of the day, should not allow disease
Yes.
or difficulties or fallouts to define who you are and to
Correct.
write your story as a human being. And that's why I'm so happy to be able to talk to you. And I know that, spirituality is a huge player when it comes to, situations like
Yes.
that. Embracing life differently also matters.
Yes.
Because it comes from within. Like going through all of that, what are the small joys that you can share that you're actually able to experience through your journey?
When I was in the hospital, you can't drink water. Like there was a time I couldn't drink water, just
very
like
limited,
a
right?
little bit,
Yes.
only to just wet your mouth a little bit. When I drink water now, it's like, oh my God, I can drink water. Like those little things
That we give for granted.
that you take for granted.
Yeah.
And even like going to the bathroom, everybody knows when you're a patient, you can't go take a shower,
Yeah.
right? There was one time, I used to always have my hair blow dried every single day. And then when I was in the States, of course, when you're in the hospital, your hair's all greasy, it looks so bad, right? My sister got a girl to come and wash my hair and blow dry my hair, and I felt so good.
wow.
But like those little things that just everyday things,
Yes.
it's there. It's just, you just take it for granted. But when you've been put in a place where
You're limited.
you're so limited.
Yes.
You can't eat. There's a tube down your throat.
You can just imagine.
It's when you're out of that situation, then you really see like, wow, this is so good. I was always thinking about food when I was.
Oh my gosh,
when I was
very
in the
Filipino.
hospital.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about food.
I was
And
always
all the
thinking
things
about
you can eat.
Yes, and at the time I couldn't even
Couldn't
eat
match.
because I had like a feeding tube, or if I eat, I would get full so fast. But just the thought of having people around me in the hospital room, like, and them bringing food, that made me so happy.
I can imagine.
People would say, "Oh, what does Anna want for today?" And then I would say, "Oh, I want shrimp and ganito." And somebody would bring it, and I would have maybe a bite. They would bring so much, and then I would just have a little bite because I couldn't eat, right? I could only taste.
Yes.
So those things was, I really saw humanity at best. And so I really feel so blessed and so lucky. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm glad that I went through it, but I'm saying that even through that, I found joy pa rin.
Did your priorities change after that,
I did.
experience, like previous to, being ill and, being diagnosed with cancer?
For sure.
It
I
did.
value time. And I value who and what I spend time with. I want to always be, and you know this about me, like I always want to be around people that I enjoy being with. Like I don't have to be there because I have to be there. I'm there because I want to be there.
Yes.
And I want to also share that part of me, in hopes that I can also bring something good to them. So those things, like time is so important to me. Being around people who you can share your life with, and they also share back their life with you. That's also very important
So
to
how
me.
were like your support system at the time? Your family, you mentioned your
My-
family.
yes.
Your kids were part of that journey,
Of course,
obviously.
yes. They
Like-
were definitely in
Like the doctors, the nurse.
the doctors, the nurses,
The
some
church, is
friends,
there, like, the church
yes,
was
the church
involved?
would pray for me. The school where my kids had to go to school.
Oh, wow.
Because we were going to school
Yes.
here, but then when we were there, I had to enroll them also in a Catholic school, and they would write these little prayer requests, and some of the moms, you don't put your name, but they know. They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
they
this is
know.
from Cyrus, or this
Yes,
is from Rain.
yes.
So that was really a big deal. Like it was just community, just being there for you and being there for my family, for my kids.
Being the other side of the coin, how can you if there is people out there that are actually, they don't know how to behave around someone, loved one that are going through something, as devastating as it can be.
Yes.
What are your advice for them to help to support them, to support their loved ones? Like coming from the side of, I'm the other side of the
Right,
coin. I'm
right.
actually the one receiving that kind of support.
Some patients are not as open to people.
Okay.
Right? Some of them even keep their diseases or what they're going through to
them,
themselves,
yeah.
right? Sometimes to the point where even their family
Can't
they
help
don't-
anymore.
doesn't know, right? So I think you have to kind of take cue from the patient or from that person, because maybe they're not ready to talk about
Okay.
it yet. Let them know that you're there, If you know about it, just say, hey, I'm here for you. Call me anytime, or let's have lunch, or, just until they're really ready to unload what it is that they're
Actually, Anna, I have experience with that when I said in my opening. I lost two very important people in my life for cancer. One of them was my best friend when we were just like teenagers. She was diagnosed when she was 15. And then it was leukemia. She was able to, during that time, she was able to fight back. She lost all her hair. We went shopping for wigs, I'd visit her constantly. I've seen the transformation and how devastated that can be to the family, especially to her mom,
Yes.
to us surrounding her. And the other person was my dad 2 years back.
Yes,
I lost my dad for leukemia.
Yeah.
And this was one of the things that, happened. My dad didn't share with us that he was going through that. So when I found out about it, since I live in Asia, it was too late.
Yes.
And even though I was telling him, hold on, Dad, I'm here, don't worry, ako yung bahala, I'll take care of you.
Yeah.
He was the kind of patient that what he told me and that I can never forget is, I was not meant to be in a hospital bed. I'm going on my own terms. Is there a moment in your life that you actually cross your mind to go your own terms, or to not be here to go through it all?
I always want to see what the other person feels. So I never really looked at things from my point of view. I always looked at things how Rain and Sai would feel. It was easy to give up. It was really so easy because it was so painful that I know if I gave up, I knew my body would also, and everything else would give up. But I had something to fight for. That thought, actually, the very few times that crossed my mind where I'm going on my own terms. I think I told you I like a a Girl Scout. I follow orders very well.
Yes, just early siya, I was telling you, you know, Pri, I'll follow your lead. And I was telling her, Hannah, this is just a friends conversation or casual conversation. Just follow each other's lead. And she was telling that, no, I'm a Girl Scout. I follow the lead.
Yeah, so that's me as a person, you know. It's like, okay, this is what I have to do right now, so I'll just focus on this. So I think I've never been the, you know, no man is an island, or I'm an island on my own. I've always been the no man is an island.
So like you're like a team player. That's your personality.
Definitely my
So you think that it matters?
I think it really matters.
Like
well, at least for
who
me.
is going through that situation.
Yes.
Because if I think about it, like I think when we are mother, it's very different, right? Not that I'm not saying that fathers don't have the same drive, but I think like being moms, it helps us to overcome things that we never imagined possible.
Correct.
For our kids. It's really the unconditional love, which is also the love of Jesus for us, unconditional, right?
It's unconditional, and it's there. All of us are made this way.
Yeah, me, like, I believe that if you believe you can, you're halfway through it and you're gonna make it.
Amen.
So the power of the mind.
It is.
But going through that, like, what kind of motivation did you draw from people? Like, what helped you to actually be in a point and stage where you said, I'm gonna do this, I'm doing this, you know, nobody gonna put me down?
Like I said, like when people would come and visit me, and I could see they would some of them would be crying and sad when they would see me, and I would be like, do I really look that bad? You know, and my sister had a sign outside our hospital.
Really?
I didn't know until after, but she had a sign that says, please do not cry.
I like that.
So but people would come in and they would cry, and I'm like,
when they read that, they cry already.
Like, why are they crying? I can do this. And they would, like, you know, like, I knew they were thinking things like, oh, I'll never see her again. You know, of course, they told me that after I was well. They were like, Anna, we really didn't think you would make it.
Okay.
You know, they would come and say hello to me, but in their head, they were coming to say goodbye to me.
Oh, wow.
But I didn't also allow myself to believe that I was that sick, even if I knew that I was.
Okay.
Like, and just the way they treated me, I thought I felt so special because, you know, the technicians, the nurses, they were just so caring, and they knew I was kind of like a baby also. And they would just baby me also, you know? So I think at that time, just God gave me the best of the best, you know, the best that humanity had, or the best that, you know, the best hospital, the best doctors. It was just such a wonderful time, actually.
Going through that, right, in being in the position, you know, it's a very privileged position to be able to get the best doctors, to have the best support, you know, but still, regardless of that, it's very hard to be diagnosed with cancer, right?
Yeah.
What are like your advice that you have for someone, words of encouragement as for someone that just got diagnosed, newly diagnosed with a disease such, you know, so tragic as that?
I think, I think you should not let it eat you up. Because when you bring yourself down, you're just growing the cancer. You really have to fight through it with your mind, with your prayers, with your spirit. And two, I think you have to be present and be more informed, you know, do some research, because sometimes new things are happening.
You know, guys, I need to share this. Every time I'm on my social media, I see something, I'm like, forward to Anna.
Yeah.
Forward to Anna.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I appreciate that. I was telling Dr. Vicky, I was like, you know, she always sends me, like, cause she knows, right? So she's always sending me things. And I'm like, that's how Brie and I are. Like, she'll send me, oh, this is what you need to do. And me naman, I'll read it. Oh, maybe I should do this also.
Because nowadays there is so much hope out there.
Science is just
evolves so fast.
Evolves so fast.
It's amazing.
That's also what the doctors say. So, like, I have blood cancer has progressed into bone marrow cancer.
Okay.
And so it's called myelofibrosis. So basically my bone marrow no longer creates blood cells.
Okay.
Or hemoglobin, I guess.
The red cells, yeah.
Yeah. So now my doctor, who I go and see every 6 months, I have to go. He said, don't worry. And like I said, I'm really blessed with good doctors. Every time there's a new drug, I always happen to be like that person that do clinical trials. You know, I'm in a lot of clinical trials. So I get all the newest drugs I'm able to have. And then they were saying, by the time this goes into leukemia, because myelofibrosis, if you don't have a bone marrow transplant, eventually it goes into leukemia.
There.
Yeah. It's called AML, acute myeloid leukemia. But they're managing it so that it doesn't go into AML. But by managing it, it also means that they are hoping that there's going to be newer and newer medicines.
Technology.
And
but
technology.
I think you're, Anna, because I have a medical background, I was studying to be a doctor. It didn't happen, but hopefully in the future. But I think you're the best patient to have. Because guys, her energy, like, honestly, look at her. She looks beautiful. She looks full of life.
My
And then to
nurses used to say that
imagine
too.
that, you're carrying all of that with you every single day.
Yeah.
So what do you tell people that actually about to lose hope?
Don't give up hope. Like there, as long as we're alive, there's always hope.
There's a chance.
You have to hold on to something, and hope is what you need to look up to and hold on to, because if you lose that hope, that's it.
If you could give like Anna a life lesson that you learned through the journey and share with people, what would that be?
I think number one, maybe live always with love in your heart, with peace in your heart. Be a instrument of God's peace. I think that's one way of healing yourself, because there's nothing negative, right?
Yes.
And I also want people to know that even with your back to the wall, there's always a way out.
Yes.
You may not feel it or know it, and you may feel like, okay, this is it. But actually, you just hold on.
Amen.
Hold on and keep going. I mean, yes, of course, there's death. But if you're at that point, then prepare yourself for it,
Yes.
right? So that you're also looking forward to something else, because it's inevitable. Death happens.
Yeah.
So maybe at certain point where there really is no other way but death, then prepare for it,
Yes.
right? And then think about how maybe your children or your family, all those things that need to be fixed, whether it's legally or all your properties or whatever it is, like just prepare it so that you're still also at peace, and that once you've left the world, then nobody has to fight about anything.
Yes,
You
that's
also left it at
true.
peace, right? So like those things, like just prepare, because that's
One of the things, Anna, that I remember of my dad when he brought the news, actually, he was rushed to the ICU. It was really bad already, stage 4. He had no red cells whatsoever. They need to give him 12 bags of blood
Yeah.
to keep him alive.
Yeah.
And I noticed on him is that he was so ashamed of the condition.
He was.
He was so ashamed of having that. And that broke my heart. Because the way I think, Anna, is, scars are a remembrance of the things that try to destroy you.
Yes.
But if you make through it, they're actually something to be proud of and to
Correct.
share to the world. And
Yes.
I'm always so amazing how open you are and how vocal you are about telling people and sharing with people the journey that you're still going through.
Yeah.
Because guys, Anna is not cancer-free, how she said. But oh my gosh, every time I look at her, I just see light. I just really see light, Anna.
Thank
And I'm really like so in awe with all the things that you're still accomplishing, the legacy you're leaving behind.
Yes.
Which is really what makes all the difference. I just want to really close like remarks to ask you, like, how are you looking forward to in life? Like, what are you looking forward to in life? Is there something that you feel that you still need to accomplish? Or you done and just like having the party, enjoying the dance?
Back to Rain and Sai, I really pray that God still gives me many years with them.
He will.
Yes.
Claim
and
nothing.
I look forward to seeing them grow and become, wonderful adults who are also sharing the word of God, the love of God, the peace of God
Yes.
to those around them. I think they still need me, so I feel like my work isn't done yet.
Yeah.
So there, and I also want to just continue to show my badge of courage so that others are also inspired and others are reminded to not give up and to always hold on to hope.
So if you could define hope in one word today, what that would be?
Believe, like believe in the power of our Jehovah Rapha. That's more than one word, but
It's
believe.
okay. You can do whatever you want, the Amigas. And you can define in 2-3 words.
Yes, I think believing is part of hope.
And how do you want like your story to impact others?
Of course, I want people to be inspired by what I've been through. You know, I'm still going through it. Yes, you're right. I do carry something very heavy, but I don't want to wear it on my shoulders.
Yes.
And I want to be a positive enforcement or reinforcement on other people. I think there is no room for other things in our hearts, but really love and peace. And we have to walk the walk, and I'm hoping that I am walking the walk.
You are. And if there is one thing that I learned in my life journey, Anna, going through a lot of things, maybe not like the things that you're going through, but is that
we all have our battles.
we all have our battles, is that we don't know how strong we are until being strong is the only thing that we have left.
Amen.
Right?
This is true.
So would you like what is your advice? Word like wisdom, advice that you can share with our amigas right there that are going through perhaps an illness, or maybe they lost a family member, maybe they are going through a breakup.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many things and battles that people fight every day
Yes.
in their life. So what kind of piece of advice you can give to them that will help them, to inspire them to keep going?
I think acceptance is a big thing. Sometimes we struggle more than we should when we don't accept. We either, we accept it with grace. We accept it with battles we have to fight.
Yes.
And focusing and how to win this battle. It's different for different people, but I think accepting is a big thing. With acceptance comes peace.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the advices I'd like to impart to people, because it makes things easier when we start to accept things.
Yes, and then it empower us to make change.
Yes.
Right? Because when we accept, the situation and we can identify the problem, then we can become the solution.
Correct. Exactly.
Oh, well, as we close today's conversation, amigas, I just want to remind everyone listening, being cancer-free is a blessing, but being cancer mentality-free is a victory of the soul. Illness may touch the body, but it does not get to define your spirit unless you allow it to. Every single day you wake up is a gift from above, a new chance to love, to laugh, to try again, to live with intention. No struggle, no diagnosis, no label should ever make you feel like your life is smaller or your future is sealed. Your story is still being written. So draw strength from what truly matters, of course, from God, from your family, from the friends who hold your hand, from the people who remind you who you are and when you forget. We are never meant to walk hard roads alone, just like Anna. Asking for help is not weakness, it is courage. But also remember, the first person who must choose to fight for you, it's you. You are not a stigma, you are never a burden, you are not a lost cause. You are a living, breathing testimony of resilience. And if you're listening today while facing something that feels like a death sentence, whether it's illness, heartbreak, or life's unexpected storms, please know this. As long as you are here, there is purpose, there is hope, and there is still beauty waiting for you. Keep going, keep believing, keep living. Your life still has meaning, and your story can inspire someone else to hold on, just like Anna's stories is doing right now. One day, one breath, one brave step at a time. Once you choose hope, anything is possible. It is. So, amigas, thank you so much for watching us, for listening to us in Amigas podcast. Thank you so much, Anna, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And
Pri.
today we're talking about something that may be very devastating to everyone out there. But just remember that once you believe that you can, you're just already halfway through it. So amigas, keeping pushing, because one day at a time is the way we win the battle. And of course, I cannot not mention this beautiful place that is the home of Amigas podcast, this season 2, Kenneth Cobonpue Showroom, here at the heart of BGC. Anna, how did you find the place?
I love it. I love this place.
It's beautiful.
Yes, so beautiful.
Oh my gosh, every time I'm here, I feel like shopping.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, such beautiful pieces.
Beautiful pieces.
I was just talking to my best friend. I said, you better start buying stuff here for your place.
Yes, I will. Definitely for my new home. Okay, so thank you so much to Kenneth Cobonpue Showroom for being the home of Amigas podcast. And see you again next week. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. we have a date here at the home of Amiga podcast for the season 2 Kenneth Cobonpue Showroom. Bye bye, amigas. See you next time. Bye.